Yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, so Mel, it says we're live. So hello everyone. Good evening, good morning, afternoon, wherever you're coming from. Um, I'm delighted. I'm sure you'll all understand. I'm absolutely delighted and honoured to have one of the eBay and YouTube greats, Mel, with me. So first of all, Mel, how are you? And thanks for joining.
Oh, hi, James. I don't know about that welcome, but that was a little bit too kind. But thank you very much, and I really appreciate you having me here. I'm excited to talk to you because we've become pretty good friends over the last few months.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say the same, Mel. It sounds silly when you've never met someone, but yeah, I do class you as a friend now because you have been so helpful to myself. So not just on the eBay side, and really our first real chat was when I was thinking about buying that massive book bundle. And I think I'd messed you a couple of times before, but I was kind of like, Mel, look, I want to ask you because you know your books, and is it worth going for? And you were so helpful with that. And from there, obviously, us both being part of the Daily Refinement group, we've chatted a lot in there as well. So no, look, I'm so grateful that you've agreed to come on the channel. I was a bit nervous asking you, to be honest, because as I said, I know how busy you are and stuff, and so I'm honoured. But we will just say hello to a few people.
Okay.
I'm going to try and manage the chat the best I can, but I'm really keen, Mel, to just have a chat with you tonight. And as I said
Yep.
to you before, I don't want to ask you, what got you into eBay and all that stuff, because you've answered that question a million times. But let's see who's in. So, hi, Chris. Chop Chop, who lives not too far from me in Woking. Good evening. Neil and Jan, so Neil from the group. Yeah, thank you. And Neil, you just reminded me actually. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. I'm up to 2,000 now, which is mind blowing, but we'll talk a bit about that anyway.
2000, can we just say how many months has that been? Not many.
Since July, mid-July is when I started. So
Crazy.
yeah, my mind's blown by it. Philly Flipper, hello, new name to me, but I'm guessing you know Philly Flipper, Mel.
Yeah, I do. That's Paul, and he's from Philadelphia.
Amazing. Hi, Paul. Ian J. We got Leo in. We got Lee, who's also in the Daily Refinement group. Hi, Lee. Money Mental. Andrew's in, so we're going to have to make sure he's on his best
Oh,
behavior tonight.
oh my goodness. Andrew's in. Be careful,
Tama
Mel.
Bell. Tama Bell. I love Tama Bell's channel, so they're fairly new to the YouTube game as
Mhm.
well. They're also doing Vlogmas and they're doing great. So if you're not following Tama Bell, please do. We got, what was that? Quindell's Den? Is that how you pronounce it? Hello, my cousin Jonathan in. Hi, John. Married to reselling. Two of our favorite resellers in one place. Well, that's good to hear. I know one of them is definitely your favorite, and I'm just making up the numbers. But no, good to see you guys. Hope you're good. RS, Secret Carper. There's so many people in already. Megan,
Yeah.
Hunley, hi Hunley. Lee, Fix It, Limelight Vinty, SB. Hello all, just nip into the shop to fill an order. We'll be back. Posted a video about her Xmas raffle. Yes, I brought some raffle tickets earlier. So if you're not already, please check that out. And I'm just going to say hello to one more person who will be here tonight. So Lindsay and Alvin, resellers. Good evening. So,
Congrats to the
Mel,
Aussies. There's a few Aussies in here, and like it's very early in the morning. So thanks to the Aussies for coming in.
and Bills and Moon is in as well. Okay, great. Well, thank you all for joining. So, Mel, first of all, for the people who do not know you, and as I said, I don't want to go into the whole background because I think a lot of people do know you. But talk a little bit about yourself. So, yeah, tell people who you are, what you do, and why you're here in a way.
Okay, so Australian, obviously. Mum got 4 kids and basically have been selling on eBay for the last 5 years, I think it is. Selling books now primarily for about 3 years. And yeah, busy doing YouTube, eBay, juggling life, I guess. And yeah, that's about my story. There's not much time for anything else when you do YouTube and eBay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, where did the name Back from Burnout come from then, Mel? Because I think a lot of people probably wonder that when they find your channel, because obviously it's not, Mel's books or whatever it is, it's Back from Burnout. So where did that come from?
Yeah, it's not the traditional picker name, is it? It's look, it basically came because I was burnt out at the time when I started an Instagram account that was called Back from Burnout. I was feeling very run down, burnt out. I was taking time off work Back then I was a family photographer, and yeah, I was just trying to find myself again. So I was using the Instagram account to kind of like motivate myself. It was more about healthy eating and just getting my mental health back on track, and feeling better. And along that way, I found that reselling community. And yeah, once the Instagram account kind of hit about 1,000 subscribers, I decided to open up the YouTube, and I just kept the same name. So it is like, I have thought about it a few times whether or not I should have changed the name, but I kind of think it suits me because I still am the type of personality that rolls in and out of that burnout. So I think it's a name that will always stick with me, and it's a little bit more generalized, which means I can talk about other, like I don't feel like I don't feel bad talking about mental health and different things on my channel as well. Like I kind of incorporated all how I'm feeling, and I think because of my name, it almost allows me to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So with regards to the burnout, I think that's quite common, especially for people who run their own business. And I think in the reseller game, because I've felt that a few times. I mean, I've spoke to you before about, especially now bringing the YouTube stuff in. Sometimes YouTube, and it feels like a full-time job as well as doing the eBay. So what do you do now to try and deal with that burnout better? So have you got sort of tips and advice you can give to people who may be suffering with that burnout mentality and feeling a bit down the dumps, because we all get there sometimes? What kind of things do you do now where you can get through that?
So I feel like everybody goes through stages probably of burnout. Some obviously hit it worse than others. Like sometimes you hit burnout and you literally like are almost paralyzed. You can't do anything else. You just have to let your body heal and rest for months sometimes. The thing that I've really done in the last, I've noticed like in the last few months, like I've kind of rolled back into that burnout, very tired, very low mood, had some health issues again. And I find when that happens, that's when I kind of start going downhill again. So this time what I've done is I've switched it around. I've been eating really healthy, been walking daily, and that makes a massive difference. I think it's really underestimated how much your diet and your exercise plays into your mental health, but also your work life. Because I know now that I've got like, I'm having more energy again now because I'm actually feeling better. I'm not as fatigued and stuff anymore because I'm thinking clearer because I'm eating better. And it sounds so cliche, like, oh, just eat better and drink water and go for some walks. But until you actually are kind of in one spot, you make that change, and then you can look at it after about 6 weeks and go, wow, I'm actually feeling so much better. So yeah, I think when you do get into that burnout stage, you need to allow yourself to rest. You need to give yourself some grace and not be so hard on yourself. And you need to actually take some time to step back for some self-care, take some time off if you need it. And by stepping back, it will give you some clarity, which will then help you go forward.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think sometimes for myself, who I've spoke about the mental health struggles I've had in the past, and sometimes just sort of taking a step back and recognizing it and kind of pausing yourself and saying, right, I need to just take a bit of time for yourself. I think it's all about that self-love. And I think we're all guilty at times of kind of giving all your energy to everyone else. And then when you need some yourself, there's nothing left. So I understand what you mean about the whole energy when it comes to fitness, exercise, walking, and the food, about how important it is, because that all adds up to sleeping better. You drink less coffee, and that's one of my guilty things at the moment. I'm constantly on the coffee to have the energy, which is not a good thing. Let's say a few more hellos. So the tap doctor's in, wanted to be fashionably late, so hello. Philly Flipper saying, surprised to see Mel wake this early. She usually wakes up at 12 p.m. Yeah, I did say to Mel when we were organising this, are you sure? And she was like, yep, it's fine, but nice and early on Australia. Dave Repairs is in. I also see Dave in your channel as well, so I know he's someone you know.
Yeah.
And Hunley, for me, with the best comment so far. I'm a bit disappointed that Mel wasn't wearing a grey jumper for this. Yes, absolutely. So you're known for your grey jumpers now, I think, Mel.
Yeah, I am. I tend to be a little bit minimalistic and wear the same, well, minimalistic except for in the shed here. But yeah, I tend to wear a lot of the same grey jumpers, which I never really realised until I was filming all the time. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm always in this grey jumper.
I know what you mean. I get paranoid sometimes to think, I wore this jumper 2 days ago when I filmed some YouTube stuff, so I can't wear it again in case someone goes, you wore that a couple of days ago. And sometimes, you know what the release of videos are like. It might not be a couple of days ago, but your last video might have been a week ago. You're wearing the same jumper or same t-shirt you was, and you're scared someone's going to say, "Oh, have you only got one t-shirt?" kind of thing. So I
But you know
completely
what's
understand.
funny? You know what's funny about that? So we're in the Daily Refinement Tech and Sports group together.
Yeah,
Now Tech is very minimalistic, and he's only got like a couple of t-shirts, but he's got them in multiple quantities.
yeah,
Now I've been going into Tech's stream weekly for the last year. I could not tell you what his t-shirt looks like,
yeah,
and it's literally been the same t-shirt the entire year.
yeah,
I couldn't even tell you what it is. So like I think sometimes we think that, and I brought that to attention in one of my videos, like apologizing for always wearing the grey jumper. But probably if I said that, nobody would have noticed except for me.
yeah.
Whereas like with Tech, he's always wearing the same thing, and we don't even notice it.
Well, he claims he's only got 5 or 6 t-shirts, doesn't he? Because he doesn't have to then think about in the morning what he's going to wear. So
Mm.
yeah, maybe it's a us thing. So Mel, why books? What made you sell or want to sell books? Because I know at one point, and I've been following your channel, Mel, for probably about a year before I even thought about reselling myself, because I like that whole what can you find, what can you sell mentality. But what was it for you that made you completely go books? Because at one point you were selling a mixture of things, you're doing some clothing at one point as well. So yeah, what was it about the books?
Um, it was really COVID. So it was clothes, shoes, books. I had like I probably had a 2,000 item store, and maybe a quarter of it was books. So the rest of it was clothes and shoes and the odd plush toy and board game and stuff. And COVID hit, and the stores were all closing around here. It was really hard to kind of keep up with the quantity of clothing. So I'd put out a call on Facebook for some more books, and I just literally got inundated with free books, and my living area just got surrounded. So I had so many books to list, and because everything was kind of shut down, I just kept listing all these free books, and I was doing these contactless pickups from people's house, and it was just crazy then how many people were giving away books. Not many resellers were doing a lot of books like that back then, so it wasn't really like a sought after market, and I kind of had the monopoly on it, really. And yeah, I just had so many books, so just kept taking them, and next minute I knew I was like a bookseller.
Yeah,
And I just stayed with it, and I joined the Daily Refinement group. They're very all about um, staying in your niche, because it makes all your systems easier, your processes easier, it saves time. Being very time poor, that worked for me. So yeah, I think I will implement a little bit of media into the store soon. I've got a couple of CD hauls here, some DVDs as well, and I probably, just to help me out on space, I think I'm going to implement a little bit of media, because the books are quite take up a lot of room.
yeah, absolutely. That brings me on nicely, Mel, to the next thing I want to speak to you about. So I think it was at the start of this year, you spoke with Chris on YouTube, and he set you some really, at the time I looked at it and I thought, wow, really like big targets for you to hit. And I know the first couple of months it was full steam ahead. You were smashing your targets. I remember you had the whiteboard up and everything. How have you done with the targets, and where do you feel you could maybe improve on that in the future? Because obviously your YouTube has grown dramatically this year, especially. But I know at the time he was sort of saying to you to post 3 videos a week and to keep your listing goal high. So how have you done with that?
Yeah, so Chris has set me at the beginning of the year. He wanted me to do 10,000 listings, which I think was 30 a day. 30 a day was 10,000 listings. And he also wanted me to do 3 videos a week. And he'd set me a goal to have 20,000 subscribers. I think in January I was on 10,000. So he wanted me to double my subscriber base. And I I felt like the 30 listings a day was probably attainable, but I was scared for the 3 videos a week, because
Mhm.
it's a lot of work. 3 videos a week, like you just feel like you're making a video, you're putting it out, you're making a video, like there's not much time to rebuild and get a creativity boost.
Yeah.
So I was frightened of that. And anyway, I did, like you said, I came out the gate really hard at the beginning of the year, and I did everything I possibly could until March when COVID hit me, and then I
Mhm.
just went down. And I think I got hit really bad with COVID, and I don't know if it was partly because I was kind of burning myself out a little bit with how hard I was working. So I don't know if that's why I actually took COVID really, really badly. And it took me a few months to kind of really feel myself again. And I just couldn't go back to the 3 videos. So I was doing pretty good with the 30 listings. Some at one stage I was even doing 40 listings a day. Um, and then a few months ago, I kind of struggled with like a hip back kind of issue. And again, I had to pull back there because I was in a lot of pain and stuff and going to a lot of medical appointments, and I pulled back again. So I don't know. I stopped counting. I got to about 6,000 listings, and like a few months ago, and I stopped counting my listings because I took time off
Yeah.
with the hip issue. So I took like a good month off, 4 to 6 weeks off listing. So I stopped counting, and I haven't kind of picked up the counting again. So I don't think I'll hit the 10,000 listing goal, but I think I'll still probably come reasonably close to that, maybe up around that 9,000 for the year. And as for the videos, well, I've kind of struggled even now to get one video out a week. It's just trying to manage it all. It's very hard for me at the moment. But I did hit the subscriber goal, which was 20,000. So yeah, I think I'm at like 23,000 now. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
you hit that pretty quickly from going from 10,000 to 20,000. It seemed like overnight it felt that your channel just went up a new level in a way. Um, who was
Yeah.
your who was your YouTube influencers then? Because I mean, it's clear, and I've mentioned it, I think from the first time I came on a live here, that you, for me, were the person who kind of finally forced me, and I'm glad you forced me into starting this YouTube channel, because you were just saying to me, James, look, your first video is going to be rubbish, and guess what? Your next 99 are as well. But just do it, just give it a go. And if people like you, and that's the mentality I went, if people like me and they want to watch, great. The worst case scenario is I get no subs, I get loads of negative comments, and I'll just delete the channel. But who was your influence then to make you start a YouTube channel?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I had a particular influence back then when I started my channel. I kind of was just watching a lot of live streams. So I'd found the reselling community on eBay, on Instagram. I was joining in with a lot of live streams and getting to know and feel part of the community. And because I'm a little bit of a social butterfly, I guess, and I like to talk, I was like, I need to be able to talk in these chats. And I didn't even have a YouTube like account. So I was like one of those people who was watching the live streams but couldn't even participate in the live chat. So then it was kind of like, okay, well, let's join in these live chats. And I opened up the account and just started hanging out in all these live chats and making friends, and then started the channel. I don't know if it was actually like a reseller really that got me, particularly one particular one that got me into it. It was more just I wanted to be part of that community feel, and it looked like the resellers who were live streaming all the time and having all these fun chats. I wanted to be part of that.
Great
Yeah.
stuff. So we've got some more people jumping in. Disgruntled Octopus says morning minions. And he also says that Mel told me that the octopus was her YouTube rock. But the tack doctor is saying the same. So one of them's telling the truth, one of them's lying. Sam and Bell have linked Mel's channel. So yeah, if anyone is not following Mel, and I'd be surprised if you're not, please do. We've got Derek in as well. Hi, Derek. Hope you're good. And the gentleman marketeer has also popped in. So what's your plans then for the channel, Mel? Because for myself with YouTube, as you know, I didn't expect to be anywhere near to where I am now. And I don't think anyone did, either in the YouTube community or the reselling community. And I'll be honest, even like my friends and family are all like shocked about how quick the channel's grown. So, what are your plans then for YouTube in 2023? Because we've had many chats in the Daily Refinement group, especially on the YouTube call, about our plans and where we want the channel to go. But what's your dream for next year for YouTube? And we can get into like the shorts aspect. I know we've talked about a little bit as well. But what's your sort of aspirations for not just your YouTube but your eBay for next year?
Yeah, so big changes coming next year for me. which I won't talk about now. But yeah, definitely going to be some big changes. Just a lot's going to change.
Yeah, no,
But
of course.
the channel, YouTube is my passion. Like
Yeah,
I never really expected that, like I was doing eBay was the job, a little bit like you were looking for a hobby. I guess I was looking for that fun community side, because eBay I find actually a little bit boring. I'm a little bit of a squirrel brain. I have a little bit of what I think if I went to be diagnosed, I'd probably be diagnosed with some kind of ADHD or something. I jump around a lot and I get bored easily. And I just feel like eBay is very monotonous, and I need this kind of outlet where I'm social and can be creative and have a little bit of fun. So obviously when you've got two things like that, one's fun and one's a little bit boring, if you're my type of personality, you're going to want the fun thing. So I think YouTube is, to be honest, my main love in
yeah,
business, like in the work. So if I could grow the YouTube so that I can do more YouTube financially, that would be my like dream goal, to be able to do more YouTube and maybe less eBay, or just enough eBay to kind of not have to push so hard on both, because at the moment it is a bit of I haven't really been pushing hard enough on YouTube, but I know that I want to push harder on YouTube, but it's finding that balance, because I've needed the eBay income. So it's like, how can I fit all this in? So yeah, I think eBay for me next year will maintain a little bit more than what it is this year on a financial basis, but probably not a huge amount more. I'm probably end up quite content with that amount if I can grow the YouTube. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I think
Philly's there.
I know, I saw that. Is it this one here? Mel's YouTube goal is to stay ahead of me in the subs.
So Philly's been chasing me for like all year. He's been chasing me to like overtake me, and he must be nearly close, because he pumps out a lot more content than me, and he gets some big views on his videos. So I've basically said all year that he's going to overtake me at any time. So I'll have to come back strong next year so I can just try and
Yeah,
stay ahead of him, because
you need to
I'm
stay
pretty
ahead.
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be very far. I haven't looked at what his numbers are for recently, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be very far ahead of him now.
We'll just jump to Megan's question as well. When Whatnot launches in Australia, what would be the best of both worlds for you? So I know Whatnot for the UK is pending. There's been lots of stuff going on. We can register now as sellers in the UK, and that's going to be happening, I think, early part of next year. But with regards to Whatnot Australia, do you plan to go on Whatnot?
Look, I think I'll register for an account, definitely, so I keep my options open. I don't know if books will be something that want to go on Whatnot. I don't know. Like maybe I'd be better off to do some media on Whatnot, cool CDs and some music or something. I mean, I think I would enjoy the live stream auction format, but I don't know how books will go. I think I need to wait and see what the market is. I actually feel like the market for Whatnot Australia will be very different to how it's been in America, and I don't think it will take off in the same way. We don't kind of have the same cool vibes as the Americans. Very different. Australians have just a very different culture than America, and I don't know if it'll take off. I think you guys are getting it before us, so it'll be really interesting to see how it works for you guys and whether or not it'll come here and work for us.
Yeah, I see what you mean though about the American personality. They're a bit more out there, even to
Yeah.
us
Well, it's like
even
a
to us in
show.
the UK. Yeah, even to us
Mm.
in the UK. I think for some of the sellers in the UK, it will work really well. For myself, I'm doing the same as you, Mel. I'm signing up for an account, but until I get to a stage of where I buy a big gaming hall, for instance, and have thousands of gaming items to sell off, no one's going to want to buy a Monopoly board game from me and then a pair of hiking boots on the next item. So it's going to be quite hard to do it, I think, unless you are niche down. But yeah, I'm quite excited to see how it does elsewhere, because in America they've spoke about it being a huge success, but it also has its little bits of problems and stuff with regards to the music being played in the background and all of that stuff as well. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think a lot of Whatnot comes down to the personality of the person
Yeah,
hosting it and how fun they are and how much they can engage with their audience. So I think the bigger the personality and the more confidence you have on the camera will really help somebody who wants to do Whatnot.
we've got Rich in. Hi, Rich. Hope you're well. Dave Repairs also says, Mel, he was one of your influences. So now there's 3 people who are claiming to be the reason why you started YouTube. So that's good. Chris, hi. Cook and Hayden's are in. They are live at 8 o'clock this evening. So after this, go and jump on their live. 100%. It's always a really good fun live. We have another question, Mel. So what did you do before you did eBay full time, Mel? And why did you quit, stop, redundancy, etc.? Sorry to pry. So yeah, what did you do before the life of eBay?
Yeah, so I've always had my own businesses that I've done from home for the last 20 odd years. And I tend to do each business for about 5 years and then I get bored with it and look for something else. So this year was my 5th year on eBay and I was like, ooh, am I about to hit that boredom stage where I want to fly off and see what else is out there? But before eBay, I was a family photographer. So yeah, I was taking portraits of families and children, and yeah, I did that for 5 years before eBay. And yeah, I got sick. I was having some health issues and I was in some chronic pain and needed to have some surgery. And so I'd taken some time off. And while I was waiting for the surgery, I was looking for something else to make the money and found the reselling. So I started reselling just some brand new Nike shoes, actually from the factory outlets, just as a little bit of a side thing, just make a little bit of money. And yeah, I had my surgery and thought, okay, I'll give it about 3 months and then I'll go back to the photography, and never went back. Said goodbye to all my photography. I had a lot of repeat customers with my photography, and they were sad to see me go, but I was like, my heart just wasn't in it anymore. I'd found the reselling and wanted to pursue that.
So this question, is there even an ETA for Whatnot in Australia as of yet? So is it just in the pipeline at the moment, Mel?
Yeah, I did see somewhere on their website or something that said it would be coming to Australia, but I didn't see a time frame. So I guess they're just waiting to see how maybe they're going to do you guys first, see how it rolls out in another country, and then see if it'll roll out here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's kind of been sprung on us in the UK in the last couple of days out of nowhere, really. And so I've kind of advised people, even if you're not going to potentially sell it, just get an account in case, because I think in America at one point they let everyone jump on it and then they kind of restricted it and held it back for people who were more influencers. And now I think they've reopened it up again. So if anyone's interested, I would sign up quickly. Philly Flipper said, sorry, go on.
So that'll be probably one of the problems, I think, within the Australian community. There's not that many Australian influencers in reselling. So in America, it was very different. They had all the big resellers there who they wanted on board, and they kind of slowly let other people come in. But it'll be interesting to see how they go in Australia, because there's not that many with huge reselling social platforms for them to rely on that, I don't think.
Philly Flipper saying, we are more out there. Is it a compliment or an insult? It's definitely a compliment about American people being more out there. I think personality wise, and sometimes we hear in the group, they say words that I don't even know. And it's probably the same for some of the UK and Australia words as well. But so Andrew's got a great plan for himself on Whatnot. He's going to sell dates with him on Whatnot. Job done. So yeah, I'll be interested to see, Andrew, how you get on with that. I'm sure you'll do well. A wee piece of Junie says, Mel, when you first started selling on eBay, what was your aims and plans for the first year of selling?
I don't think I had huge plans the first year. I just wanted to give it a go, try new things. I was experimenting between retail arbitrage and then doing secondhand items from the charity shops. And because I was still coming back from these health issues, I think I was just happy to go at my own pace. I don't think I had any huge aims or goals, because I didn't really know if this was something that I would continue long term. I think I just played it by ear. And yeah, once I just found it, like the more I did it, the more I loved it, the more excited I got for it. And then, the YouTube brought more excitement into it for me. And yeah, I think I've just been one of those people that's just rolled with it the whole time. But now it's kind of come to that point where it's like, I want more. I want more financially. I want more. I don't know. I've just got bigger goals now. I feel like maybe at first I wasn't sure if I could make them happen, and now I'm like, I've got a point to prove, and I'm going to make them happen.
So Chris is saying he's going to be the biggest cycling jersey seller on Whatnot. Yeah, Chris, you've got loads of cycling jerseys you need to get through. So again, but again, we joke about that. That's kind of thing you could run a live stream because you're going to attract the right crowd in for that one product. You could do an hour stream of cycling jerseys and sell all however many hundreds you've got, Chris. So I'm going to chuck this out here, and you might not want to answer it. And you ask her about, what's it, mushy peas? Come on, Mel, what's the story behind this then? Because I can tell you all another story about a voice note Mel sent me once with regards to microwave. But let's talk about mushy peas first, and I can tell everyone about the voice note you sent me.
Well, we don't do mushy peas here in Australia, and you guys do mushy peas, and I can't remember where it came up, somewhere in one of the UK chats, like maybe over a year ago, and somebody was talking about their mushy peas with their fish and their fish and chips, and I was just like, what? This is disgusting. Like, you eat mushy peas with like fish and chips? Like, it just doesn't even make sense. It's like not even a combo. So I just couldn't get my head around these mushy peas in this chat, and I thought the people in the chat, it might have been in Andrew's Facebook group, and I honestly thought they were all geeing me up and it was a trick on me. And yeah, I thought it was like a joke, because like but it turns out it wasn't. You guys really do eat mushy peas with fish.
Yeah, it does seem a bit of a weird combination, but yeah, it is a thing. But yeah, I think it's the funniest conversation we've had, Mel, when you asked me the question. I think you saw a video where someone said that us in the UK, we don't call it microwave, we call it microwave, and that's how we pronounce it. And I could have kept that going for ages and actually just convinced you that we do call it microwave, but I can confirm tonight it's definitely not microwave.
I think that was Nigella.
Yeah, I think it was a Nigella one, yeah. Pokersen, thanks. I know you've got to shoot off. I saw your thing earlier, but yeah, I appreciate the congratulations on the 2000. So let me see if there's any more questions. But before that, Mel, I'm interested to know what you do outside of reselling and what your passions are outside of reselling in YouTube, because we see Mel on YouTube, we see Mel the reseller, but what does Mel do apart from that? Because it was Jamie actually in the UK group on Daily Refinement who kind of said to me, I don't really know much about you. And I said, well, he goes, do you just, finish selling on eBay, do your YouTube videos, and then go and watch loads of other YouTubers and resellers? And I said to him, well, actually, I watch true crime on YouTube, and that's one of my real passions, really, to do with true crime. And even the other day, Mel, I said to you, if I was to ever start a second channel, it'd be on true crime because I'm really into it. But what do you watch on YouTube, and what do you enjoy doing when you're not busy working?
Well, I'm fairly busy working most of the time, which is pretty sad. And I guess COVID, like I used to do a lot of camping and stuff, but COVID kind of killed all that, and we haven't really got back into any of that kind of stuff. But oh gosh, honestly, like I love watching you. Like, I don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
Not really into TV. I do listen to a lot of YouTube, but I don't listen to a huge amount of resellers, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I watch when I'm having my downtime. Like, I find I can't listen to the resellers. So I'll listen to resellers while I'm watching, while I'm photographing my items, while I'm listing. I'll have them here in the background. I like to listen to that work-related stuff while I'm actually working. Once I'm out of the shed here, I don't really want to listen to it anymore. So I've got a few favorite YouTubers that I watch, but a lot of them are on like that health and fitness journey. Like, I love cooking. Like, I would love to have a cooking channel. Like, you would like to have a true crime. If I could have another channel, I'd do a cooking channel.
Yeah.
So I'm not even like a really great cook, but I enjoy to cook, and I'd like to be one of those cooking channels that makes like the easy everyday mum food rather than like the fancy schmancy Nigella food. Like, I just like to do the meal prepping and the quick easy cooking. So yeah, maybe one day I'll do that. I have thought about it, but We'll see. So I like to watch channels that are like that. I love to watch. There's a UK girl that I watch all the time called Natasha Oceana. She's probably my favorite YouTuber, and she's just so much fun. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say what do I do in my fun time, because there isn't a lot of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I do love hanging out with friends, and I do love reading, and I love listening to long self-help podcasts.
Yeah.
Podcasts about motivation, just about life, how to be better, all those kind of things. Like Lewis Howes is one of my favorite YouTubers, and he does long 1-hour podcasts all the time. So I listen to a lot of him. But yeah, I'm really enjoying at the moment, but going out for my daily walks. I'm walking for at least an hour every day now, and I'm really enjoying that. And next year, I'm hoping to do a little bit more travel to some more books. I'll probably use it as a little bit of pleasure mixed with business, because I'd like to travel to doing more book fairs and mix it in and have some time off as well while I'm doing the traveling. So
That
yeah,
brings
that'd
me
be
on. So that lined up so nicely to Dave's comment. Who wants to see Mel in the UK at Nick's after Xmas party?
so
I think
it's my
everyone wants to see you in the UK, Mel, because I know you've been hinting at it for a while. So
I have. I
go.
really, really want to get to UK. In my head, I've probably never said this out loud, but in my head, I've told myself that when I hit 50,000 subscribers, I'm coming to UK. So
Have you just gave me? You've just gave me an exclusive on the live, Mel. I might even change the title of this live after. Listen in, you'll get an exclusive from Mel. So what you're saying, 50,000 is your reward to come to the UK.
That's always kind of been in the back of my mind. If I hit 50,000, I'll travel. I was only looking at flights the other day to see how much it was to come over to UK. It cost me about 5,000 return just for flights.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think I've got enough friends over there in UK through the reselling community that I can bunk in. I could stay in everybody's little location, and they could show me their hometown, and then I could move on to the next little hometown. So I feel like I could probably make the accommodation side of it cheaper.
Well, Mel, there's heating in the shed. I've got a little heater here. We can get you a little blow up bed in the shed as well. So yeah, you're more than welcome anytime.
I just invite myself to everybody's house.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we'll see. Like I'm hoping to hit 50. I think my goal is, I don't like to have subscriber goals because you've got no control over them, right?
Yeah.
So I like to have goals of things that I can actually control. And you can't control your subscriber, whether or not somebody hits the like button or not. You can control how many videos you put out. You can control, different parts of YouTube. So I've never really been really that keen on having the subscriber goal. And also, like, really the subscriber goal is a little bit of a vanity number, isn't it? That you don't get paid by your subscribers, you get paid by your watch time. So I mean, at the beginning of this year, it was 10,000, and I doubled it to over 20. So now, like, if I end the year on like 23,000 odd, if I can double that, maybe I'll get close to the 50,000 by the end of next year. So we'll see. Maybe my UK trip's not as far away as everyone thinks.
Well, I think the way your channel's growing, Mel, next year. It could be next year. The back end of next year, you could be traveling to the UK, and I know you've spoken many a times about coming. So yeah, let's make it happen. I know we're trying to get Chris over as well from America to the UK, so maybe we can do it at the same time and do a meetup. That would be
so fun. So my birthday's in July. That would be super fun, but I don't think I'll hit that goal there. But yeah, we'll see.
Fingers crossed. Hi, Paul. Welcome. Paul goes to my car boot sale on a Saturday, so I met Paul at the car boot sale. Nice. And he was the first person who came up to me and was like, "Hi, James." And I was like, "Hi, you're right." And he's like, "Yeah, I watch your channel." And I was like, "Someone watches this stuff?" And I couldn't believe it. So yeah, I talked to Paul. So good to see you.
I was at a charity shop the other day, and I was buying. I had a trolley load. I was buying a lot of books, sure. And somebody came up to me, and they said, "Are you back from Burnout?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, he went all flushed in the cheeks, and and so then I started flushing, and I was like, "Oh, this is awkward. This is embarrassing." And he was like, oh, I watch your videos, and he was buying quite a lot of stock. And anyway, like I tried to get his name, and the whole meet and greet was so awkward because I was paying for all these books. He was like flushed, just like he just got embarrassed to see me or like something, and the whole thing was awkward. I managed to get out of him that he actually owned a secondhand bookshop, just locally. So actually, after I finished at the charity shop and he'd left, I actually drove up to his bookshop and went in there and introduced myself properly because I just felt like the whole encounter had been so awkward, and I was so appreciative that he'd come up to say hello to me. But I think he was a little bit like surprised to see me. I don't know if he knew I was in Canberra or not, but yeah, I just sometimes those encounters when you meet people, when they recognize you, because even now I still don't expect it. So I don't know where to look. Like I'm a little bit like
I'm
embarrassed.
the same. Yeah.
Like, oh, he's watching me. Does he like me on YouTube, or like does he think I'm an idiot, or like so?
Yeah, I always ask the question, Mel. It's funny because people come up to me at the car boot, and I'm like, "What do you think of? What do you think of the channel?" And I'm always hoping they don't just turn around and go, "Yeah, I think it's a load of crap." I don't know why I watch you. I don't like what you do. But normally people are quite nice, and they might go off afterwards and say, "Oh, I don't mean that." But everyone's been so friendly, and I know what you mean. It is that it's a bit like you kind of know people when you don't know people, kind of thing. But it's always so nice when people come up and say, "Really like watching you," and people have said to me, I had a young guy at the car boot sale, must have been about 19, who said, I've started watching your videos and now I've started selling part-time on eBay with the view to go full-time next year. And that always gives me a really warm feeling inside that, people are kind of watching what I'm doing and seeing it's possible as well. So
I think the difference is they know everything about my life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know anything about this person's life. So it's kind of that awkward in between, like, like he meets me, knows everything about me. And like one of the first things he said to me is, oh, you're taller than I thought you would be. And it's like he already knows me, but he's never seen me. And then next minute he sees me and I'm like taller than he's expecting. And I find it quite awkward. So yeah, anyway, I haven't really been pulled over that many times locally. I've been pulled over in some interstate book fairs. So we'll see.
Right, we've got some questions to go through, Mel, and I apologise in advance because these are mostly from the UK crowd and it's a bit weird. So let's start with Chris. Mel, do you like Christmas cake and cheese together?
Is that honestly a thing?
I guess on Christmas Day, yes, it can be, because normally on Christmas Day you get the cheese board out and normally there's some Christmas cake as well. But I've never had like a slab of Christmas cake and some cheese on top. But
we have we have cheese boards for Christmas, like before we have our main dinner.
Yeah.
So it's all there, like nibbly food and snacks. And then we have our big Christmas lunch. And then after Christmas lunch, we have Christmas pudding.
Yeah, so you do it in stages. I think most people do, but obviously Chris likes his Christmas cake and cheese together, I'm guessing. So each to their own, Mel.
Past Christmas.
Good job, Mel, doing Australia proud. Yeah, I completely agree. Do you know what I follow? I follow three Australian resellers. You're one of them, obviously. Aussie Flipper, who's quite new on the scene as well. I've started following him as well, but I think it's similar. I like the Australian accent, same as some of the US people I follow. I just find it weird, when you watch like shed flips and how different they sound to us in the UK. So, no, I completely agree. You are doing Australia proud. Philly Flipper says, question from Mel, what is her favourite 2 meter tall reseller in Philadelphia?
Paul, you're my favourite. So, yeah, look, he's always asking me that in live streams. He just wants to get shout outs because he wants to get more subs. Yeah,
that's it. If you're not following Philly Flipper, please go and follow, but make sure you follow Mel first, okay? Don't follow without following Mel, 100%.
He's always just trying to butt in there to get his name out there so he gets a few subs. No, in all honesty, Paul is one of the hardest working probably YouTubers doing eBay that I know. Actually, he smashes out his listings, smashes out so much. I don't know how many. He probably does 5 videos a week between his 2 channels. Like he's a hard worker, Paul.
that's a lot of work. I mean, I'm doing Vlogmas, Mel, and you did warn me when I said to you, Mel, I'm going to do Vlogmas. You said to me, be careful because it's hard work, and you'll realise that quite quickly. And yesterday, and it was only day 4, I was exhausted. I was thinking, I think 2 car boot sales this weekend in the morning early, up at 4:30. And now I've got to go out for lunch, and I've got to do some more vlogging. So even down the shed last night at 10:30, packing some orders to finish the vlog up. And I'm like, I wouldn't normally do this, but it's good motivation, and it is good fun kind of showing people not just James the reseller, James the person, which is quite cool as well.
I'm going to wait to see how you are after about day 20, because I do think you'll be tired. And I know Cookie and the Maidens did it last year and he was tired from it. And I don't know if he's doing it again this year. But yeah, it's a hard work to do. I've always wanted to do Vlogmas, but it's just never December is such a hard month for me when you've got kids. It's a very busy month. There's a lot of presents to buy for, and there's end of school things, and it's a hard time of year. So to make a daily vlog every day up to Christmas, hard.
Yeah, we'll discuss it afterwards. And then I haven't announced my new thing I'm doing in the new year, Mel, but you know what I'm talking about, and I think that's going to be a real challenge as well. But I'm going to announce that in probably end of December. You'll remember. I'll tell you afterwards if not. But we discussed it in the last YouTube call in quite a lot of depth, and you told me I'm mad.
Oh yes, I know.
Yeah. Okay. So we got 2 from Andrew. I'm going to get these out of the way. Okay. So Andrew's asked you, question from Mel: if you could eliminate onions or mushy peas from the world, how quickly would you eliminate onions?
I wouldn't eliminate onions. I love onions.
And you have an offer for when you come to the UK from Andrew. Of course, I'll take you to Wrexham Wetherspoons. So
Andrew has made it known for several years that there's lots of offers in Wrexham.
Yeah, sure. So Bills and Moon said, I worked with an Australian once who thought I was pulling a leg about swimming the front crawl. Apparently it's called freestyle in the rest of the world. No, we call it front crawl as well. Yeah, we call that front crawl.
No, we call that freestyle.
Oh, you call it freestyle? No, front crawl to us.
Front crawl sounds like a kid's.
Or, do you know the other thing we call it as well? And this probably is more aimed for children, doggy paddle.
Well, doggy paddle's like this when you're just learning to swim and you can't do overarm. Doggy paddles.
Yeah, but it kind of all goes into anyway. Random thing on the stream, but that's good. Maximus Co, hello all. Sorry I'm late to the party. Congratulations on the 2K. Thank you for joining. Dave's got a question, Mel. I guess it's for you because I've definitely had a roast dinner one yesterday. Have you ever had a roast dinner?
Yes, we eat roast dinners here. We don't eat those little pudding things that you have, but Yorkshire pudding.
You don't eat Yorkshire puddings?
No, I've never had one.
Wow, you're missing out.
So when I come to the UK, I need to have Yorkshire pudding and mushy peas, apparently.
Yes. Yeah, maybe not together. I wouldn't say together, but you could do. Some people do. Chris makes a good point. If you spend 5K, you need at least 6 months stay in the UK. So maybe just bring all your books with you, Mel, and just set up camp here for 6 months.
I'll come. Somebody there can hire me to help them fix their business up or something.
Yeah. She's not coming to mine. She won't like how I do stuff. Yeah. No. So you're not going to the tat doctors, that's for sure.
No, tat doctor knows that I will rip shreds through him.
So Mel got recognised by a subscriber and installed him. Yeah, that's basically what you have done, Mel. So you know,
it was very well worth it because he had a bookshop, and I went into his bookshop, introduced himself, and then he got all my details. So then when he gets overload of books now, guess who he's going to ring?
So there was a method behind your madness. Then you went in for the right reasons, and not. I'm not sure if
it was my madness because I was actually with a friend at the time, and they were like, "You need to go back there and introduce yourself." So, yeah, it was probably not so much my madness. I was pushed by someone else.
So Philly Flipper says everyone unfollow Mel and follow him. So yeah, not my advice. I'm just going to highlight that comment. And Mel, don't come at me if your subscribers suddenly drop by loads tonight because you blame me. I know you will. So let me just have a look, see if there's anything else. Yeah, so Rich saying he done vloggers last year, but not this year. Yeah, it is a real stretch. Whether I do it next year, I'll let you know at the end of the year. James, can you swim? Yes, I can. Not the greatest swimmer, but if I fell into a river, I'll be able to swim myself out, I would say. But yeah, I'm not the greatest swimmer. Sophie saying I haven't moved on from doggy paddle. See, it is a thing. is a thing. And this is very kind. Philly Flipper has sent me a $2 super chat. Feels like all the shout outs deserve some cash. So again, he's really pushing for me to highlight his name constantly to get more subscribers. But jokes aside, follow Philly Flipper as well and get him above Mel, even if it's for an hour. Okay, then we'll get Mel back above.
He knows how to work the YouTube game.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I've missed any questions. I think we're up to.
Oh, look at Maximus's comments there.
Where are we?
Offer
this
for
one
Mel.
here. Oh,
no.
Offer for Mel. There we go. Offer for Mel. You're always welcome to hire my camper for the duration of your stay. At least then you can travel and thrift. How cool would that be, Mel?
That would be so fun. That is such a nice offer. Thank you so much. That would be so cool.
I was speaking to James, who does a lot of lives with Rich Night's Life. I was on their channel the other month, and he was saying the same to me. He wants to do a lot more traveling as well when it comes to that, and seeing if he can bring some reselling into that as well. But I always think that's such a cool idea to be able to just go and travel for 6 months in your camper van and still run your eBay business. And you couldn't have, thousands of books in a camper van, but you could easily run a small eBay store in a camper van. So that is so cool. And you better be careful, Mel. You better get your travel here to the UK quick, because Andrew's on his way there in the camper van to you. So maybe you should try and get to the UK as quick as possible. So Tamabel also doing Vlogmas. It was quite funny because they were very lastminute.com. I think their first Vlogmas video was about 10 o'clock on the first day, and they're like, yeah, we've seen everyone else doing it, so we're going to join in. But yeah, they're such a fun channel. So as I said at the start, if you're not following Tamabel, please do. So Mel, what's your plans then for the rest of the year then? We've kind of spoke about next year and your growth plans, but is your plans for the next year just to keep your eBay business ticking along, try and get some videos out when you can and not put too much sort of pressure on you at the end of the year? Because you've had a really busy year. You've had such great growth. And is it a case of now just enjoying the last bit of the year and then sort of full steam ahead for 2023?
So what's coming up? At the moment, I'm just trying to, I guess, keep afloat for the rest of the year. I am trying to push my eBay up a little bit because I did take my foot off the pedal for a few months with eBay. And while I was suffering with this injury, now that I'm working my way back up and I'm getting healthy and stuff again, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to push the eBay again. So I haven't been listing daily, like consistently. That's the hardest part for me out of the daily refinement and the tech and sports group, is getting the daily listing, the set amount. Like at the moment, I've been doing quite a few listing challenges, and I've been doing some bulk listing. Like I'm doing a listing challenge today, and last night I photographed 125 items, I think, that I'm hoping to list today. So that's going to be like a big chunk of my weekly listing all going in one hit today, because I think it's just like finding that time. Sometimes I find it easier to do a chunk lot rather than doing that daily amount, because there's so many other things that are going on. But yeah, I think this for the rest of the year, probably one video a week again, just till the end of the year. And then next year I definitely want to pull it back up a little bit to at least 2 videos a week. Probably get another live stream in at the end of the year. Going to a book fair on Thursday, so hopefully I can film that and get another book fair video up, my last book fair for the year. And what else? Yeah, I don't know, just keep plugging away with Christmas and stuff, I think. And then probably after Christmas, that week after Christmas, I normally have a little bit of downtime where I'm just with the kids and stuff. And then January, it's going to be full steam ahead. A bit like last year, I hit the 1st of January and I was full steam ahead. Yeah, it's going to be the same this year, but it's things will be changing, so it'll be a little bit different. I can't elaborate on that at this stage, but it will be different.
Yeah, absolutely. And isn't it funny, because I think we all get to that end of the year stage, especially this time of year. It is that kind of wind down, and then it's one day difference, but you just have so much more motivation and energy. Like already I'm changing my listing goal from the 1st of January. So that's changing. And so many people have said to me, why are you waiting until January? And it just feels right to start a new year with a new challenge, new listing goal, have new plans for YouTube, have new plans for other things as well. Obviously, I've discussed it quite a lot is I want to save £50,000 next year, and that is going to be an absolute mammoth challenge. But even if I'm saying I'm going to hit it, but even if I wasn't to hit it, if I can get close to that, that's unbelievable for me. So I think it's always good to go into that new year with fresh ideas and fresh like challenges you want to set yourself as well, because this year's been a bit crazy because I've kind of upped my eBay game anyway from where I was. I've become a bit more consistent. And then bringing YouTube into it as well, I quickly realized that YouTube can just take over your eBay completely. And you've got to be careful to get the balance right, because I remember speaking to you, Mel, when I first started. It got to a stage after week 2 where I was spending more time on YouTube than I was on eBay. And YouTube isn't paying the bills. eBay pays the bills. You've got to find that balance right there. So, yeah, I have lots of plans. And next year, I'm setting myself a goal to get to 5,000 subscribers, which on paper seems crazy, but I'm going to push to get there. But like you say, you can't control that. All you can do is keep working, keep putting out videos, keep sharing information, and see if it grows naturally in a way. So that's really important.
Like your channel, James, has just taken off really fast. I knew it would, because the thing about you is you're really willing to learn and put in the effort to make it happen. And like, I noticed that straight away, even in the daily refinement group. Like when you came to me months ago and said, I want to buy this book haul, what do you think? And I was a little bit hard to give you advice, because UK is a little bit different to Australian in terms of pricing what we get for books. So I was a little bit nervous to say to you, yes, go and buy that haul. But it was a great haul, and you got it for a good price. But straight away, I just knew that you would be successful, because I watched you in the daily refinement group and you listed all those books. So like you just knuckled down, and you just right from the beginning, you just got it done. And then when you did YouTube as well, you didn't just come in there like doing a half job. You've come in here, you've worked really hard, but every single week you're learning and you're trying to learn and you're asking for advice. You're not afraid of critical critique. There's so many people in this community that are afraid of, they put a question out on Facebook and then they don't like the response. They can't handle the critical critique. Like you don't grow in business unless you actually take what other people say on board. So one thing about you that I really like is you actually listen. And so like sometimes people come to me and they ask for my advice and I give it to them and they don't do anything about it. Right? They don't make any changes that I suggest. I can go back, they'll show me their store, I'll tell them to make changes, I'll go back and have a look a couple of weeks later and they've done nothing. They don't want it. But one thing about you is you ask for my advice and then you take it on board and you listen and you actually take action, and it's a good quality. And because you've got that quality, I think your YouTube channel will grow really well next year.
Yeah, I think for YouTube as well, you have to be quite passionate about it as well, because as I say, it does take up a lot of time. I was speaking to people over the weekend and they were saying, when you're doing these vlogs, how much time do you actually spend editing? Because your editing's getting better every video we're seeing. And I'm like, it all depends, because some edits can take you 4, 5, 6 hours for a 10-minute video. And sometimes when you watch that 10-minute video back, you think, where's that 6 hours of editing? You don't see it yourself. But I think for me, it is all about that learning. I'm no expert. So when I can speak to people like yourself, like Chris, and other people in the group especially, and say to them, where can I improve? That for me is important, so could I do this different? Or what do you think about this idea? And I've chucked some stupid and some crazy ideas in there. And some of them have been laughed at in not a horrible way, but like, no, James, like, don't do that. Some of them have been laughed at. And then the more I spoke about it, I said, I'm just going to try it anyway, because I need to kind of realize myself whether it works. But as I said at the start of the stream, Mel, you've become not just someone who I speak to about YouTube and eBay. I class you as a friend now, and we chat a lot anyway on Instagram and Facebook Messenger, and sometimes it's a case of we will share thumbnails and say, what do you think of this, what do you think of this? And I like that kind of chat with you as well. So look, I appreciate all you've done for me, for the growth of my YouTube channel, because without that push from you, I had some family members, my brother especially, who kept saying to me, just do a YouTube, and my response was, haven't got time, no one's going to be interested in what I do. And yeah, speaking to you about it and that encouragement's really helped me. So
I think it was my first video, wasn't it? It was my first video that tipped you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's the encouragement and the support for someone just to say to me, James, do it. And your words to me were, go and watch my first video and then just record your first one. And once you've done your first one, upload it, don't worry about it. And then from there, just build. And I looked back at my first, I was speaking to Landon the other day about it, and I looked back at my first video, and I look at even the edit on the first video where I cut from clip to clip and how disjointed it was, and learning about even little things like edits. And, you know, I think in one clip I was sitting facing the camera, and next thing the camera's like over the other side of the room. And I'm like, why have I done that kind of thing? So it's all a learning game, YouTube. But the key for anyone who's thinking about starting is that, as the advice you gave me, and I would say to anyone, just start a channel, film content, enjoy it, and that's the important thing. And actually start by doing videos what you want to do. Don't worry about whether everyone's going to love it, because they're not. Some people dislike stuff, some people love stuff, and just enjoy the journey, because I've loved every moment of it. And I have plans now to make YouTube, like yourself, into a revenue stream in the future. But what's important to me is to stay true about what I do. You know, I'm not going to be coming on and promoting things that I don't believe in, for instance. And I see that a lot, where people hit a level where they want to promote everything. And I really don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. And I'm forever grateful for the advice that you've given me, and the continued advice as well, because you could kind of say, right, you're up and running now, you're on your own. But, you know, I know you're always there to support as well. So
yeah,
I'm also grateful for that.
I definitely feel like you were definitely procrastinating on it. And
Yeah.
that's why I said go and watch my first video, because like my first video is absolutely shocking. And even my, like, lots of my first videos, they're shocking. But the first one, I just look back and think, oh my goodness, what even was that? But the first video is just putting yourself out there, and then the next, it just comes after that. And like, if you've never done it before, you can't be expected to be good at it, but you just put yourself out there. And like, yeah, sometimes I've thought about taking my first video off because it's so terrible. And then I think, no, like that shows the progression of where you've started and where you've got to now. And like, it's good to be able to look back and see that, even if it's a terrible video.
Absolutely. Right, I'm going to answer a couple of things, and then we're going to end the stream, because I don't want to clash with Cookie and the Haydens. But
yeah,
very, very kind words, Tamma Bell. As I said, I really enjoyed having Tamma Bell as well in my life. They were really good. And at that point, they were kind of just at the stage of where I was deciding whether to do it. So I'm really glad they have. So thank you, guys. Tactox has got a question for you, Mel, before we go. Will there be more singing and spacesuits in 2023?
Oh, how embarrassing. I'm not sure I'll be wearing any more spacesuits. That was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it?
I said we're asking, Mel, will there be more Christmas dancing this year?
Ooh, I haven't done it. I haven't decorated the shed this year, have I? I haven't got my Christmas tree up in my house because my house is full of Mills and Boon books. So I haven't even got room for the Christmas tree. I have to, actually, tomorrow I'm getting rid of all the stock inside my house. I've got a storage unit now, so I need to get rid of some of that. But maybe I'll do a little bit of a Christmas jingle video. But I am filming today, but it's not a Christmas spirit one. But maybe I'll do a vlog. I'll do a vlog next week with some Christmas carols.
I think it needs to get done, because it will get everyone in that Christmas spirit. So anyway, look, Mel, thank you so much again. Forever grateful, you know that, I'm sure. And thank you to everyone who's come in tonight, even if you popped in, like Neil, last minute, even if you just popped in to say hello, if you interacted with the comments and stuff. So yeah, look, I really do appreciate everyone. And if you're not already, follow Mel. I'm sure you all are, but if you're not, please do. Make sure she stays ahead of Philly, because we want to make sure that happens. But Philly, thanks so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. And if you're not watching my Vlogmas, please follow along, because you'll see me get more and more tired and more grumpy throughout. And if that's not worth watching, I don't know what is. But yeah, thank you all. And I will see you on the Vlogmas video that comes out tomorrow.
Thanks for having me, James. And thanks to everyone in the chat.